you have anything to say about sex before we jump into questions?
We're going to talk about all the good things and the bad things that may lead.
Let's talk about sex.
No, let's just get into it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to A Couples Thing,
where we touch on a couple of things. Let's do it.
All right, so I do have a couple of questions, and I did a little bit of research today for a couple of hours. I watched a couple of TED Talks, and I just feel like this is based on our experience in life, and we want you to answer these questions for yourself. So, when did sex become serious for you? Like, when did you feel like you transitioned from, okay, this is fun, to now, let me take this serious and I want to choose specific people to do this with?
I kind of feel like it started serious because I started with I lost my virginity to the person I was with for 3 years. So
damn, that's right.
Yeah, so it started serious for me. So just learned the ins and outs in those 3 years.
Such a good
It's
guy.
weird talking about sex in front of her. That's not with her. But anyway.
It's not weird for me because I know that there was a past before me.
It depends if you get into details.
I mean, I would love to hear details.
So pretty much I just got to know the ins and outs with one partner, what they like and how they like it, and just how to please somebody else. So I think I was prepared to go into my sexual path once I was single and stuff.
All right.
How about you?
You know what's so funny? I feel like... when did it become serious? It was serious from the get. As a girl, of course, I lost it very, very late. I wouldn't say very, very late, but late teens, 17, turning 18 was when I lost it. And I just feel like I always took it serious. I always made sure that my body was my temple. That's what my mom used to say. So I tried my best to pick strategically. This is a good question because I feel like I've never answered this question for myself. How were you, if you can remember, how were you taught about sex? Do you remember the conversation with your parents? No?
I think I'm like most people. Most people don't get the birds and the bees. That's some Leave It to Beaver type shit.
But okay, you see, and this is why I'm asking these questions, because don't you think that that's a disadvantage?
You have older friends, you have older brothers. That's how most people learn. Don't really learn it from your parents. Have a sit down, son. This is this is that. I had an older brother. Learn it from older friends. Or we just soon as your friends start learning about it, we all start talking about it. Of course, we're misinformed, but learn later.
Now, moving forward, when we have children, do you feel that that's a good approach to take?
I mean, by the time we have children with the internet and everything's so accessible, they're gonna know before we have to sit them down.
It's
you just gotta let them know,
they're not gonna know. What you think, that we're just gonna hand our kids in iPads and shit and just let them?
Pour it out there, and if they want to find a way, it's gonna be easier for them.
Okay, so let me piggyback off with this question because now I'm getting concerned. What age do you feel is appropriate to have a conversation about sex? If you're talking about they're going to experience porn and all this before you even think about talking to them.
I don't know. Probably 6th grade-ish, whatever age you are at.
No.
What? That's too late?
That's too late, honey. That's way too late.
Ain't nobody was fucking my 5th grade class.
Well, today there are 12-year-olds that are pregnant. Today. There are 10-year-old women that are pregnant, 10-year-old girls that are pregnant. There are children having sex. As a child, you masturbated. It's a natural thing for a kid to do, but it's innocent because they don't know what it is. But now, moving forward, my mom told me what gay, straight, all different types of sex by 4 or 5 years old. I knew all of that stuff. So I feel like, if anything, it helped me and scared me a little bit because she made me understand that my body is for me only, and it's basically like a gift when you let someone.
But you don't think parents could misinform or mislead?
It depends on the parenting.
Say if I have a daughter and I don't want to have sex, I might throw some shit out there that will steer her away from doing it.
Why would you do that? Why won't you just
tell from your baby girl? I believe the parents could guide you wholeheartedly with knowing that they might want to steer you away from sex.
Yes, but I'm talking about educating.
Okay.
And with educating, that's my problem. That it's wrong, and the misinformation and the parents being afraid it's not okay because sex is frowned upon. It's like this thing that should never happen, but it's how we came into the planet.
Agreed.
So the whole point of this entire video is to break out of that tradition of hiding from talking about sexuality. Like it's something that we should be afraid of. Like it's something that we should never do or only do when we're 30 years old. Because I remember
30.
No, I remember my sperm donor telling me, you're not allowed to have a boyfriend, date, or have sex until you're over your 30s, over your 40s. As a joke, parents say that. And it kind of makes a girl think like, well, what does that mean? So when do I have children? Like, I feel like it's important to talk about everything at a young age, especially we have freaking 4-year-olds that know so many things. Like, look at Jacob. How smart is he? He's so intelligent. Like, he's going to go to school and see all the other kids that their parents may be misinforming them or letting them know everything. And what if Timmy has, like, a porno, but Jacob never heard of porno because no one ever spoke to him about it? Don't you think that's where it gets tricky?
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say that early, but I mean, just coming from my personal experience, ain't nobody was really talking about as kids until like junior high school. I was just trying to make out, like, it wasn't even on that. First time I knew what cum was like 7th grade.
Yeah, I know, but we're talking about the future. The future, they don't know, they know too much. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. This is not about knowing what you're doing, but when did you let go of the selfishness and want to focus on pleasing rather than just all about yourself sexually? With anyone, not in just a relationship.
Day one.
Really?
Day one, I was a giver. I don't know, I'm competitive in nature, so I see it as like, I always want to please that person because I don't want them talking crazy about me or saying I was a dud or whack. So I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, leave a lasting impressions. Even though a couple people could say I was whack, but it's because your pussy was whack now. Anyway,
oh, okay, wait. I'm going to form the question differently for myself because as I was writing it, I don't feel like I had to like go into that. I was too focused on the other person.
Oh, so
if that makes sense.
To get your own orgasm.
Yeah, so basically, I thought that giving myself to somebody meant that I had to just please them, even if it didn't work for me. And that's how I didn't know, like, what an orgasm was with a guy for a while.
A lot of girls don't.
Yeah, and it's because there's this stigma where you can't say what you want.
And if it's early, like in teens and stuff, and you're figuring out how to please a woman too, so... The best is just communication. Like, no, you got to do this, and that, because I'm not having an orgasm.
Now, are you afraid? Which is, he's not. Are you afraid about talking about sex or your sexual experiences and your sexuality in public, in front of people?
No, I let my freak flag show. No, I've always been an open book. I've always told too much or always been too truthful, and people have to say, like, shut up. So, that's never been an issue. I let my freak flag show, wear with pride, and I love it.
Me too. I don't feel like it's anything to hide from. I do believe that I basically didn't say certain things growing up because I was a woman and I knew that I would be perceived in a certain light.
I was even extra with it. Like, some dudes be like, "You let her do that?" Like, yeah, don't knock it till you try it. And be like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." All right, do it. Come back to me. And the funniest thing, they'll do it. They'll come back to me and be like, "Bro, that was the greatest ever."
Okay, so off of that, do you believe that? What is your definition of a freak? Because I have to transition there because a lot of people consider themselves freaks, but there are so many things that they won't do.
I know where she's going.
And now that I have learned, I've been watching like all these like Jubilee Channel and all these things. Like, I really love those debates where people from different walks of life come together and talk. I was watching something where someone said that it's a spectrum, and sex is a spectrum. So there may be certain things that you're into, like
I wouldn't even because I know there's levels of freak. So I'm probably on the lower T level. For real.
So then are you a freak? Because
I'm a freak to the shit that I like to do, I guess.
But what would that categorize? Because
I don't go too far out the box. I don't like my nuts being stepped on. I don't like to be gagged or S&M. I don't like no ass play. Maybe a tongue. That's about it. So that's as far as it goes. You asked the question, I've been drinking scotch, and you got the answer.
Wait, that's a good, honest answer. But there are a lot of men that do not believe in that, and they feel like that is quote unquote gay, which I'm different,
but I know most people in my circle will be like, "Yeah, you gotta put a finger in there. If you do it, that's your thing, and you do it with your wife." And hey, I'm not judging, man. I don't think it makes you gay.
Yeah, and also why does it matter? If you really think about it, why does
it's a stigma? It automatically think, oh, you like ass play or anything around your ass, you're gay. No, it's an erogenous zone, and some people like it. With a significant other, it doesn't make you gay. I'm not into that, but to each his own.
That's it.
You think you classify yourself as that, or you think there's a whole nother world?
Sorry, Mom. I think I do. I feel that I do, and if you know me, you know my story, so you know. But
people know that story.
As in Camille and Denise, my girls, or my best friends, they know. I have guy friends that I used to lunch money. Come on, I have friends
don't
that
say I had guy friends that I used to like.
No, not like that. That I used to talk to and get advice from, and that would give me advice and would kind of almost teach me how to stay away from certain people, even though I didn't listen, because there were certain things as a teenager, and as a young adult that I was afraid to do.
Okay. And
that I always said I wouldn't do. For example,
talk to people, they're like, nah, they're not serious.
Yeah, for example, I don't care, I'll say it because we're an open book. But I was very much afraid and never in my existence wanted to give fellatio.
Fellatio.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it, because that's the proper terminology. If you don't know what that is, it's a sloppy Joe, right?
Sloppy toppy. Nobody says a sloppy Joe.
Sloppy toppy. I don't know what a sloppy toppy is. I never heard of a sloppy toppy. That's a Queens thing. No. Anyway.
Comment below. Everybody heard that. Go ahead.
Sloppy toppy. But yeah, I never wanted to do that. So I also didn't know, but I had friends that would be like, okay, this is what you're gonna do.
Were these guys going down on you?
At that time, no.
Damn, some selfish ass people on the Upper West Side.
It's not. No, this was in Miami, so we have to go to Miami because that's where I actually ended up losing my virginity. Yeah, so it was very different from over here.
What makes you that freaky thing?
Do you want my mom to know? Listen, I know what makes me a freak. Do you consider me a freak?
Yes, but it's on a lower scale. What? Let's be real.
What the hell? What else can I do?
There's nothing else, but we do the normal shit that most people do.
Okay, but I've done absolutely anything that you could do to me has been done. Tell me no. Anyway, I'm cutting all that out. Okay.
Anyway, we're on the lower scale, but of course we'll do anything to each other. But it's on the lower scale between the spectrum of porn searches. Let's just say that. Okay,
but you see, that's all right. Bestiality and freakery are two different things.
I'm not going to. Why you go straight to fucking animals?
No. I don't even mean animals. When I think bestiality, I think
she went from
people acting like beasts, doing crazy things, bondage and all that. I don't consider that.
There's a thing where they dress up in like teddy bear stuff and all that. I forgot what it's called. It was on the episode of Entourage. Anyway, go ahead.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I think we should rewatch Entourage also. Okay. I
think they're called furries or something. Anyway, go ahead.
What do you think sex is like for the opposite sex?
I always think it's better. Because girls just have, I feel like, amazing orgasms, apparently. the way they act, they'll act like when guys come, we just come.
I've always, remember when we had that conversation where I was talking about like men can't control, what would it be like to just get aroused randomly?
The worst. I remember when I was at high school, it would always be like right at the bus stop when I have to get up. I would get aroused right before then, like clockwork every morning.
But why?
No clue, because the penis is an asshole. Like, it just wants to get aroused at the worst possible moments in the world.
That's really weird.
And when it wants to go inside of you is when you're at like a doctor, like you got a female doctor. That's when it's the opposite.
Damn.
It's just an asshole sometimes.
Well, yeah, that, you see, now I don't wonder that anymore because it could be so embarrassing.
Yeah, you get aroused for anything, and then you're with the hottest girl you've been trying to bang forever, and then it won't happen.
You know what's crazy though? Like for women, I'll speak for myself. If you're not into the person, or if like you are not aroused at all, nothing is happening. And I kind of like that because sometimes your mind and your body tell you when something's not right, if that makes sense. Like my body has told me when not to do something with somebody. And I think that is something that women should pay attention to more. Like our body literally tells us everything and we should listen rather than like betray it and go against the grain. But I've always wondered what it was like to like have a penis because you guys like, one thing, you guys literally don't have to go through the pain of having something injected, if that makes sense. There's no penetration unless you're using the back door. So that for me has always been the thing. What would that be like?
Also, gay men probably have big orgasms because they come from the ass and
totally. They have the G-spot at all given times. And I think that they're laughing at all straight men because it's like, you guys talk so much shit about being freaks and getting all these women, but you won't let women do to you what should be done sexually. Like it's still called gay for men, and I think that's so immature.
We ain't dead. It'll take a long time.
I'm not saying us. I'm just saying in general. Oh. Do you believe that people use sex as a coping mechanism, and why, if so?
Yes, because sex gives you pleasure, it gives you a release, so it could be a coping for just when you're sad or depressed, and that's the one thing that makes you happy and gives you a release, so it relieves your stress. So yeah, definitely could cope for a lot of things, honestly. Like
but do you think that that's always good?
Yeah, it can be. It depends. It depends if you're not talking out your problems and you just have makeup sex and then the issue's still there.
What if it's like just unhealthy and you're choosing the wrong people and stuff like that?
That too, yes. You could just be having sex and having sex with anybody just to please that urge, or even to make you feel like, I know for men it's like a power thing, so it could make you feel like you have power, that you made this person lay down with you and penetrate them, and it's just like a straight ego power thing. So that could cover up and mask some things that you're dealing with just by having that power over women sometimes.
That's very true. I do agree also that sex is used as a coping mechanism. And I don't think it's always good because a lot of people, they turn to giving their bodies to someone else when the problem that needs to be fixed is right up here.
Yeah, and it's just a temporary fix too.
Yeah, and if it's kind of like, you know, taking a drink or like a swig of a drink to get over something. I can't. You know what I mean though, right? Like instead of just like sitting there and attacking the issue at hand or fighting a couple more minutes with your girlfriend after that breakup to try to mend things, instead you're like, you know what, fuck it, I need a release and I just need to go meet Tabitha down the street. And it's like, we should be able to find a new way so that this is not the norm for our future. Don't you agree? Like, I feel like sex is underlying hurting people a lot if not used in the proper way.
Yeah, for sure. Especially for guys, especially when you hear this story told over and over again. Once a guy gets his heart broken, he just goes on a streak of trying to bang anybody without a heart just to get over that one person. And it works for a temporary time. At the end of the day, you still got to deal with that hurt and don't go away. Yeah,
he told me a story once that he started to feel like a piece of meat.
Yeah. So I used that coping mechanism, and then it like reversed on me because like the people I was using, now I felt used because I was with this person, that person, that person. I'm like, I'm better than that. And that's when things kind of changed a little bit.
What are your thoughts on giving consent?
A minute before we go any further.
Which is why this night calls for the love contract.
What's this?
Nothing. It's just a document saying that you're a willing participant in this sexual experience. Maybe.
Well, I am.
Just sign here and here. And initial there for oral.
Oral.
I'm gonna do you too.
Okay.
With, you know what? I don't want to say now that we're such in a weird time. We've been in this time. It's just that it's now coming to light. So now that the Me Too movement is like literally on the surface of everything. And what do you think about consent?
Well, now it is a different time. It feels weirder for men now. I mean, you should always felt that way, but you just don't. You always got to read a sign as a male because you usually got to make the biggest move. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to make sure you're reading them signs right. Otherwise, you can get caught for being a little too aggressive, especially if it's like a coworker or something like that. At all times, keep your hands to yourself. Of course, your mouth can get you in trouble, but only so far.
Okay, so like, when we talk about consent, what would you feel would be the proper way to go about it? Let's say, like, you know how we were watching the morning show?
Yeah.
And at first, in that scene, it didn't seem as though it was rapey. It didn't seem that way. But then you start to see, like, the way that a person manipulates your brain and, like, starts to ask you weird questions and put you in a weird situation to keep you from being able to say no. And then you end up doing it because you felt pressured. And that's the stigma we're kind of in now. So, like, how would you recommend for men to be careful with a situation like today?
Taking into account if you are a person of power, you're doing it with co-workers and they might feel more obligated to do something because they want to keep their job and stuff like that. You just always got to read the situation, man. Like, they will give you signs if they're not comfortable, and you should take those signs. Like, I think it's disgusting. I can never get hard if I feel like I'm forcing myself on somebody. But I was also pretty my whole life, so I never had to deal with these issues.
He's joking, America.
I'm not joking.
He's joking. I just remember...
I've had the opposite and say, excuse me, miss, you are coming on too strong. Back it on up. I feel uncomfortable.
I can see how with the whole consent thing, I could see the transition because I remember being in certain situations where they did not escalate to any type of points, but someone who was of my senior, they would flirt with me.
Senior as in older than you? Or?
Yeah, they were in their 50s when I was 23 or 22.
Fuck it, shoot your shot.
No, I was 22 years old. Yeah, I was 22 and they were 50 or 55. And they used to make like sexual advances at me and all these things. And I used to feel so uncomfortable and they would try to like sway it. And I was like, only if you're okay with it. Like, or like, you sure? Like stuff like that. And I never knew that was inappropriate.
That is, it is. My thing always was, I let the female make the first move. Always. Always. If you touch me somewhere, then I'm going to touch you.
He's lying.
I swear on everything.
I'm joking.
Swear on everything. I let the female make the first move, and then I'll proceed.
Hey guys, so unfortunately my SD card ran out of space.
Who's talking that good shit?
We were having a really, really great debate, so we are definitely going to continue a part 2 of this topic. Do you have anything to say really quickly?
No, stay tuned. Definitely part 2. This is just a wrap up for part 1. Stay tuned. Part 2 of Talking About Sex by B. It's coming at you probably next Sunday. All right.
Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Oh no, check out Homemade. You already know.
Yes.
Official plug. Just got the Gmail. Hold on.
Say hold on once.
It's homemade.freshdaily@gmail.com. Hit him up. He kind of like Burger King. You have it your way and put all his freshness on there. It's on the back too, but
yeah, it's really cool, guys.
There you go. Stay tuned. Love ya.
Bye, guys.